That's super weird. We're going to start again, Melissa. Hey guys, it's Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and I design workshops that help you create beautiful projects from start to finish with easy to follow guides. Sorry, you know what? I think that maybe when I was sharing it over into my group, something happened because I had actually unclicked the mute, because I actually mute it when I start, because normally then all you would just hear in the background is me clicking buttons on my computer. So there we go. So quite often I mute it. And I had actually clicked the button. But remember when I said I seem to be pulling a lot of internet? Well, no, you didn't hear that. So I actually said it's super weird. I seem to be pulling a lot of internet here. I bet something was just lagging there. So if I have to, I will go back and I'll cut off that beginning of the video where we had no sound. But I didn't really say anything too exciting other than we are here today to play with this. So Stampin' Up! In January posted, I think it's the first time they said they ever did a video for it, but they do a monthly creative challenge. And I actually think I talked about it a couple weeks ago, that a creative challenge is a super awesome way to kind of spur along your creativity. It kind of just puts one step in front of you so that you're not starting from scratch. So I did talk about it last month because I talked about it during the coloring the DSP paper. So I thought, considering they're putting some exerted effort into sharing the creative challenge, we should too. So I'm going to, like I said, play with this today. And it's funny because I actually asked, so I put up the visual of the challenge, and then I said, which collection would you guys like to see me play with? And you actually picked the collection that is featured in artwork, which is funny because I thought you would pick something completely different because you already saw this. But so I did not. So this is product from the new scrapbooking brochure, and I think it's called You and Me. But let's just, before I actually say that, let me just double check that, because there are so many names and words and all of that. So, oh no. So, well, it kind of depends on which product you're actually looking at. But it is Everyday You and Me. So that's the scrapbooking workshop. And then like the papers have a different name. So it's Everyday Happiness Designer Series paper. So don't worry, I will come back and we will work on it exactly the way, well, not exactly because I can't do that, but we will play with that product a different time. I'm going to, because yesterday I played with the fruit salad. Hey, Kim, I said I would come back and we're going to play with this challenge and the fruit salad paper. So yesterday I took, from this card, we can probably move the creative challenge out of the way now. But I created this card at the very beginning of Celebration. So Celebration, right, is a Stampin' Up! Campaign where when you purchase a certain amount of product, you get to add free stuff to your cart as a treat. And so this 6x6 fruit salad designer series paper is one of the things you can pick. So when I started to play with it, this was the first card I made. And then so yesterday we stepped it up a little bit. We added some more things to it. We also decorated the inside, switched out some embellishments, added some, so I did actually emboss on the original one, but so on this one too, we decorated the inside. It turned out super cute. So when I did this yesterday, though, I said I would come back. We're going to play with the creative challenge and the fruit salad paper. So that's what we're going to do today. And like I said, good for you. Because also, so Kim said she's watching and listening while putting away my products. I actually always say too, that's a really good thing, because quite often I will have like stuff that's like not where it's supposed to be, and then when I go to use it, I can't find it, and then I end up with two of some things. So it's always a good thing to put your stuff away. Thank you, Crystal. She said cute card. So I'm going to add my desk in here, and I think this should turn out super cute. Like I said, we will come back and I will use that other the product from the image a different time. But we're having a fruit salad kind of week this week. So here we go. And I'm going to make sure when I add my desk in, we still have sound, and we do. So that's always a good thing. We'll turn up the light. Okay. So, like I said, the fruit salad is part of the celebration catalog of items. Oh, I knew. See, yesterday I had to like go and get it from underneath my desk. But so here's the little brochure, right? When you spend a certain amount of money, you get to add products to your cart. So this is the 6x6 fruit salad paper. So it's 48 sheets of paper, but there's all sorts of things. You don't have to actually pick this paper. I just thought it was fun to play with. And actually, I'm going to use two. So in Canada, our thresholds are 75 and 150. So at 75, you get to pick one item. And at 150, you can pick two items, or you can pick like, there's like the elevated items. Hey, Leanne. So this one is one of our selections at $150, and it's called Heart Shaped. And it was the bundle, and I actually decided to throw that in here today too. It was like a little bit of a last minute decision yesterday when I was playing with stuff, but I actually think it's going to be super cute, and you're going to like what I did with it. But so, if you have not seen the DSP, right, I just kind of showed you the visual, but it's got fun fruit on one side, and then all the B sides, so like this one is a B side, right? Is just super usable print. So today you'll see more print. Yesterday I used a lot of like the fruit and we cut it up. Today we're going to use a lot more. You'll see more of the B sides, but I'm still going to use some of the like more fun paper, like the fruity side too. So like I said, I really like it because it's nice and bright. And if you look at my studio, that is kind of what I'm all about. So I'm going to move this out of the way because I have my pieces set to play. So I have a copy of like the image. Like I said, we're not going to do like exact. We are going to do like I think I called it before. We're going to crucify it. So I have some photo placeholders. I will add photos to my layout later, just like I did last week. So last week when I did the paper from the designer series paper special, like that special release, this one, this was last week's second live, right? I went back and added my photos after. So when I did it, right, I just put my photo placeholders in there because it's a little bit easier, and then I added my photos after. I'll do that same thing this week. So, but I have a 4x6, and we're going to use two 4x3s, okay? So that's where we're starting for photographs. And then I have a piece of Coastal Cabana cardstock. And I'm going to pull in some wood grain because I thought that with all the bright colors, the wood grain kind of grounded everything. I really liked the way they looked together. And I actually was trying to decide between the two sides. For most of the day yesterday, I had the lighter wood grain sitting up, but I think that it gets too blended into the background. So we're going to go with the darker wood grain. And this is from the Country Woods. Okay, and then I do have some pieces that are pre-cut, and they're not, like I said, they're not exactly the same as like the inspiration piece that we're working from, but they're similar. Okay, And we're going to start with this piece. So I don't know if you could see in the photograph, but they have like this piece is ripped from here to here. And so I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do it in kind of a controlled manner. And I wanted like a little surprise underneath there. So we're actually going to use this 6x6 piece of orange paper. We're going to put it underneath and we're going to rip it and we're going to reveal like the orange underneath. So this is how I'm going to do this. Hopefully it all works out the way I've got it in my head. But I'm going to add adhesive to two sides of the cardstock and leave the paper and leave one side open. So I want it to poke through. So we're going to rip the wood grain. So I want to put the adhesive across the top and the side of this paper. And you guys, I'm sorry, I'm going to try not to sniffle. I could tell yesterday after my live that I am fighting a cold. So, okay. So I've got adhesive here and here, right? And I'm going to flip this piece of paper over and I'm just going to move my piece of Coastal Cabana. You could actually gut the piece of Coastal Cabana if you wanted, but I'm not going to. Okay, so this has nothing on it, these two edges, right? So I'm going to line those up at the bottom corner of the back side of my wood grain. And then we're going to tear it. Okay. Okay. So you can see here, right? I have this piece underneath and I don't want to go past where that paper is underneath. So my tear is probably going to be a little bit smaller than theirs. Okay, so I just have like my metal ruler because I want a controlled tear. I don't want to just rip it. I want to know where it's going to tear, and then we're going to roll this back. So there we go. Gotta love a good metal edge. And so I'm just gonna roll this back with my fingers. And I want it kind of messy. And I wanted the light wood grain to show through. You could also ink it up if you wanted it to show more. But I figured using the white wood grain on the dark background was kind of enough already, right? You didn't need to create like an artificial white edge there. Okay, and like I said, I want it kind of like mushed together. You could also rip more because you do actually have like more here if you wanted it ripped more, but I'm going to leave it like that. Now we're going to add it to our Coastal Cabana, right? So we just have adhesive there. If you want to add, you could add a little bit of adhesive here if you're worried about it staying down. I think we're going to end up with enough layers on here that it's not going to be a problem. Okay, so this piece, the wood grain piece, is like 11 by 11. So we're going to have like a 1/2 inch border. You could also make it this side if you wanted, right? So it would be a little more subtle if you're not interested in like the orange peeking through, but I just thought it was super fun. Okay, and then I also recently unearthed my quilting ruler, so I'm actually going to use it today. I have a super long one, and then I have this one. And I like it because, right, I can push it across all my edges and see how we're lined up. I actually think you did a pretty good job. I do love my old close to my heart rulers, but all the numbers are worn off. So I want it to be a little more accurate. Okay, so I'm actually going to re-pull up my box so I can actually see that we're not missing anything. Like in the beginning where I almost missed the part about having no sound again. But like I said, that was a super weird little glitch that we had going on there. Okay, so now this is our base, right? So we have like our outer piece, we have like our rolled piece. And now I'm just gonna add some fun things. So, like I said, I have a 4x6 photo, and they have like a little white piece kind of sticking out the edge, kind of up here. So, but I'm going to use this watermelon paper because we're going to make this one bright, right? So I'm going to add adhesive on the back. Okay, I think we will probably pop this up on 3D foam. Okay, but then we have a 4x3 and a second one. But obviously we need to fill it in a little bit. So I do have, they had a couple pieces of paper tucked in here. So I have grabbed a couple pieces from that same stack. We're going to use the B sides. Okay, and so this is kind of what I have envisioned here. And like I said, we'll be adding some of these layers with like foam tape and our dimensionals, etc. Okay, so then this was kind of how, this was my starting point. And then I knew, right, I wanted to have some of the fruit and we needed a title, and then we have a little cluster up here. So this is what I pulled out. So as far as dies, I have the Keeping Tabs dies because that's perfect for scrapbooking, right? So we're going to add a tab over here and a tab over here with two of the papers. I actually think this will come way up once we start putting things in. So then the other thing that I grabbed was, I think this is called a Rounded All Goes dies. And how fun are these? Like wonky circles, right? You can't have too many wonky circles. And there's like a ton of them. So this is what we're going to use for where they have their flowers, right? And they have a little journaling box there. We're not going to do that. But I cut out of, right, the B sides of the paper, some fun wonky circles. And that's what we're going to use. Okay, so that's where we started. Right, we've got a pile of fruit we're going to add. Then I have my little dovetailed pieces we're going to add at the top, right? So I have some of the papers here. We're going to have to dovetail those. And then we have like another wonky little circle. These almost look like little carrots if you look at it on this side, right? So we're going to use that. And then, so I needed a title and like a subtitle. So here they used, I'm not sure if they're stickers because I don't actually have this yet, but I think they are stickers. So this says Better Together, and then it says Nothing But Smiles. So I wanted a title. So I grabbed this stamp set, the Meant to Be, which you all knew was going to be on my list. As if you look at my watermark, it's got the little cute bee in it, right? So I wanted to use this Love This Life title. So then I wanted something to stamp and put it on. So I actually played with a few things, and what I ended up using was this, and I got it from the Beautiful Butterflies dies. And so, because I actually had it cut out with a different one before. But look, there's two, right? A larger one and a smaller one. So that's what I actually ended up using to cut out my title and subtitle, right? So the Beautiful Butterflies. So, so this says Love This Life, and it says Lots of Love. So that's the smaller one. And it actually came from the Delightful Wishes, Lots of Love right here. And this, I actually hadn't opened this up until yesterday. And this is going to be fun, right? Because it's got like that two-tone stamping and lots of fun things here. So also you could, if you wanted, I did actually originally cut a little piece here for my Lots of Love with this one. And I just made it shorter. Did I keep it? Yes. So you could, but it didn't have one for the bigger title, and I wanted them to both be the same. But so I used that die, and I stamped Lots of Love, and then I just put it back in at the right length and cut it so it was smaller. So don't forget, just because a die is a certain size or length doesn't mean that's necessarily how you have to use it, right? I just made the die fit my purposes versus looking for something to suit my purposes. I'm not sure if that makes sense. But I also did play with this one. This is from like that Seasons of Green and Gold. The tags dies that goes with it. The title fits on there too, so that's another option. Okay, so I'm going to move this stuff out of my way now because we don't need it. So I stamped my bottom title right in Coastal Cabana to match my cardstock. And then the top one is in Pumpkin Pie. Because if we're going to play with lots of colors, I want the colors in all the spots. So when I looked at like what I had for my little sections of where we're going to add embellishing, if I felt I was missing something, I could add it in with ink. I could add it in with a piece of fruit or a piece of paper. Those are kind of the things I used to decide what I wanted kind of in each cluster before I started. And then I had this fun idea. So the last thing I'm going to add in is some flowers and some leaves. And so they are from, when I showed you at the beginning, the heart-shaped dies and stamp bundle. So there's this one is so fun. But so there's these little leaves and this flower. So I just took to I pulled out like the scraps from the fruit paper. So for example, this is a little one of the branches, and that's the watermelon rind paper. This one is just like that dotted print, right? Which is like the same like that. Then what else did I use here? That's what I used for those. But so for these, these are the little leaves. I did different ones. So I have like the back side of the cantaloupe paper. And then that is also that watermelon rind again. And then these, I just literally looked for tiny spots on the paper that were extras, that were scraps, and cut out the flowers. So I didn't have to ink cardstock. They have more texture and depth than cardstock, right? So this is the B side of one of those papers. This flower right here is from a piece of the other back side of the banana, right? Right here. This is a piece of one of the oranges, and right, so it looks like it's already colored and you didn't have to do anything to it other than look through your scraps, where you have a little bit of color. So like, for example, you can tell this is like a piece of the watermelon paper because there's a big dot on it, but I'll probably cover up, like I'll stack the flowers and you won't even be able to see the dot eventually. I don't know if you could tell I'm super excited because I'm talking so fast. These were they're the pomegranates, right? So I just looked for spots that were like different hues that had different shades of like the red. So this is the pomegranate paper, all three of these, and none of those flowers look the same. And I literally didn't have to do anything other than run it through my die cutting machine. Okay. Now I can breathe. That's our last embellishment. I'm super excited about those little flowers though. I think they're gonna look super cute on here. So let's put this behind me though. Okay. And now it's just assembling everything because I obviously die cut all of my little things before, and we can just sit here and put it together. So here we go. And like I said, you probably would not ever think that this was our starting point. Okay. So I'm going to start over here and work across, and then I'll do my upper kind of section. So I did not, right, if you remember, I didn't glue this down. And the reason is because I knew I wanted to be able to tuck other things in underneath. So this is the back side of the kiwi paper. And right, like I said, what I was looking for was some of the colors to be in spots that maybe they weren't. Okay, so then I have this yellow paper, and it's the back side of the pear paper. And I'm going to add some dimensionals on here because it's going to go above and below, right, like my ripped piece of paper. Actually, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll wait and use the dimension on my photograph because I actually think this will go over this no problem. So I'm going to add a little bit stronger adhesive so I know it's not really going anywhere. Okay. So, and I kind of just like that the orange is just poking out through the bottom there. Okay. But this, I am actually going to add dimensionals because I want to be able to, if I want to, tuck things in underneath, etc. Okay. So here's our 4x6 with our little piece of watermelon paper tucked in the back. So you can see that's what I cut, right? Some of those little leaves out with. Some of the scraps of this paper. Because like I said, then it just, I literally didn't have to do anything to it, right? It was already, it makes it look like it was already colored. Okay, I'm going to move these out of the way slightly. Okay, so put this about here because I have some things we're going to attach on this side. Okay, and then we're going to put this down here. Same thing. Add some dimensionals. So, and by not putting it right all the way up to the side, I can very easily tuck my photograph in later. I just need to move it slightly because I forgot we have like our little title here. There we go. Whoa. Okay, so I'm going to add some dimension on this side. Sorry about that. I'm not really sure why that popped on like that, but I think we've got it under control so you don't have to listen to me twice. There we go. Okay, and I have another one, but I'm going to tuck my photographs in before we go any farther. So that I know exactly where I want to put that one. Okay, and we're going to tuck this one in back here. Here we go. Okay. One up here. And one over here. And then this will fill in my little piece here in the middle. And I do have more things, so it won't actually, you won't be able to actually see the wood grain. But so for this one, I'm actually going to add my dimensionals here so I don't have the same issue that I just had when I went to try and move my photographs around, right? And this one, I can totally pull that up so that I can still add my photograph in after. Like I said, and the fun thing about the wonky shapes is that you can kind of turn them and make them fit into different spots depending on the space that you need them to fill. So like, for example, now you can only, there, right? So just by like altering the way that it's set there. Okay, so I have a tag for over here. You could actually just cut this in half too if you wanted to use it in more than one spot, right? And then you end up with two tags. So I'll show you that. So I can just cut right on that line and it still looks like a tag, and I could put it in two spots instead of just the one, right? So I can do the same thing with the red one. There's also a punch too. So you can either get a punch or a die. It just depends on which you prefer. I actually have both, but you know, sometimes I can be a little extra. So then I have a little red one, and my plan was to kind of put it over here somewhere. I'm not really sure yet. Okay, so this is how it's coming together. We can use those in a different spot if we want. I'm going to start putting this up here. So I'm just going to dovetail these two pieces. So I'm just going to cut up the middle, right, and in from each side. And so one of the things that I liked about what they did here is the and I'm sure there's probably stickers, right, that they have one that's poking out over the top of the layout. They're not like lined up perfectly, and so I'm going to do that probably with the yellow. And these are just different lengths. And like I said, it was just like picking through kind of my scraps after yesterday. So this one is where I want it to hang out above. And we're going to do that one more like that. So these I can add. Right, so not everything has to be lined up perfectly straight. And you guys know I like things lined up perfectly straight. But I thought that was kind of fun. Okay, so then I have like the wonky circle with the carrots. We're going to add that up there. And so that's just going to be like the home for our little embellishment cluster. Okay, and we'll put our lots of love up there. Okay, it's coming together, guys. That's a little piece of pineapple. So these are for over here. So we'll start here. So I'm going to add my banana in first because that's my biggest, right, embellishment or piece of fruit, right? Same as yesterday. And then I have an orange, but you can see there's a piece of banana there, right? I'm not worried about it because we're going to tuck it in underneath and you're not going to see it. And I'm just using that wonky circle as kind of like my starting point. I have a couple cherries. So I'm going to tuck in a kiwi. We have a strawberry. Right, and I just kind of tried to pick the pieces of fruit based on like the size of the embellishment cluster that I was trying to add them to. And don't forget, we're going to add flowers. So I'm not really overly worried about like filling in all my spaces because I do want to tuck the flowers in. So I have these double cherries. I will semi-quickly fussy cut them. If you didn't want to cut around the leaves, you can actually add them after too, if you prefer. But like you could cut them as a separate piece and add them in separately, right, with glue. I need my little tiny dimensionals though, for sure. There's some more big ones. Oh, here's some little ones. This is a lot of pressure fussy cutting on camera like this, just so you guys all know. This one I have to actually look at it really closely because it's small. So I tried to do most of it before, but there's just like, and I didn't know if I would use all the pieces, so there are some pieces, right, that I will add. Okay. So these will go like that. I have a few little tidbits of pineapple here. Okay, so like this. So then my thought with the flowers was that I would just kind of look for a flower that, for example, right, I don't have that color. And I'm just going to add a little bit of dimension. You could totally, very easily do it just with your hand. Like, so I just used the warmth of my hand, right? But you can do it with like a mat underneath it, right? And it just rolls. Okay, and then I will tuck. And then we're going to add a center to it so it looks like a flower. But so, like I said, I just literally picked out little pieces of the paper that matched. Oop, there it is. The dog was in the office trying to decide if she wants to go outside or not. It's finally nice here, so there we go. Cute. Okay, so let's add some more things down here. That's glued down. So we need some actual like glue. So I can actually probably use my glue even to keep my little leaves in there. And so my thought was just kind of to sprinkle them in. And because you know they're perfectly going to match, right? So there's like little 3 leaves or little 2 leaves. So I'll just, you can see the cantaloupe on the back there. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue to the stem. And then I can just kind of tuck it in wherever I need. I actually need another dimensional under there, I think. There we go. So I'll put some flowers down here. So I think I'm going to go with like an orange one and a red one. So same thing. Like literally it takes like nothing to add some dimension to these, right? Okay, so now I'm going to add this up over here. I'll add my flowers in there too. So I have smaller fruit for here, but I also want to put, I think, a flower up here. So let's do an orange one because I have a lot of red fruit that I might use. So let's do a kiwi here. These are like super quick, right? Because they're just like, it's literally just, and so you can see, right? These are smaller kiwi than this, right? So I just looked for the right scale of fruit because there's different scale of fruit depending on which piece of paper you're picking from. So there's like a full sheet of kiwi, and then there's a paper where it is just like one of the fruit on the back side. I dropped a piece of fruit in front of me somewhere. Because I just literally had a little strawberry. Okay, so let's glue these down. Because I was just testing out my flowers here to make sure that's, oh, here we go. Where I wanted them. And I think I like that. Oh, maybe we'll use another one down there. I will add centers though. Maybe because I do have lots of the yellow ones, so I need to use them somewhere. So maybe we'll add a yellow one underneath. So same thing, right? I can literally just roll it in my hand. It doesn't get easier than that. I'm just going to hold this for a second. Okay, so in here, we're going to add, also they will look more like flowers, right, when I add a center into them. So I want one leaf up there like that. And maybe we'll do a 3 one. Right here. And maybe I'll do a darker one on the other side. So this is like from the watermelon, right? So it gave me 2 shades of green. And like I said, I didn't have to do anything to the paper. The paper did all the work for me. So that's how that little cluster is coming together. Okay, so I'm going to add some centers to the flowers because I think they'll look better. So I just grabbed the rhinestones, and so there's different sizes, but I think we're going to use the smallest ones here. I think that's the right size for these guys. Oh, actually, you could probably even go up a size, but we have lots of little ones, which is nice. There we go. So see how it's coming together? It looks awesome in real life. In real life here. Okay, so let's finish this little cluster up here on my tab. So I have a kiwi, and the little flower. So this one is different. So actually, I think I did 3 different greens. So there was like the cantaloupe green, and then this is like a multi-pattern. It's the one that where I said, oh, it looks like little carrots. So I'm just going to put my leaf down, and then I have glue on the back of my flower here, and it will actually just hold my leaf in place there. So I have a little strawberry here. So that'll be my red into my cluster. And we're going to do a dimensional. Ah, Judy said, happy to catch even towards the end. You can always rewatch it, right? Okay, I'm going to add my little rhinestone here. If we need more fruit, we've got it. So now we can finish building. Actually, I'm going to tuck this in here and then add my tab. And I'm going to put a flower on this one. I got some static cling going on here, guys, for sure. So I have a little bigger piece there. And I might need some more flowers. I maybe didn't cut enough flowers. Like I said, I was like super happy with the way they turned out. What we could do, I'll glue this down first. And I'm just adding glue at the top, and then I can literally just tuck my photograph in underneath. I obviously am not going to put a red flower down right on top of this. I might need another orange flower for there. Okay, so let's finish this up here. Here I have one of the fun red flowers. And another yellow one maybe down here. My goal is to make everybody want some fruit salad paper. And maybe just, oh, I didn't glue that down yet. Okay. I need a little bit of a darker, one of the darker leaves. So here. Actually, to be honest, I just really wanted you guys to think about it maybe in a little bit different way than just literally some cards with the fruit salad paper. And then we have to have a center for our flower. I actually think it turned out super cute. Very different, right? But cute. Okay, so I'm just trying to decide. I think we maybe should stop. But you never know. I might come back in and add some more. There you go. Kim's goal is to be inspired to use the fruit paper. And mine is to inspire you. So there we go. I actually think I need a raspberry. I love these raspberries. They're tiny, but they're so cute. I don't know if this is the right piece that we need, but we'll see. And like I said, Ginny, thanks. Ginny says, love, love, love this, Missy. And then Kim says, I'm loving the page. It's really coming together. I know. And like, who would have thought that we would have gone from something that looked like this, right, to this? But that's what a creative challenge is all about, right? Like, because I could have very easily, right, just pulled out these papers and done it exactly the same way they did. But like I said, I wanted to show you something completely different, and different with the fruit salad paper. Yeah, we're gonna use the raspberry. And then I'm actually going to add some of the iridescent faceted gems to just bring it all together. I kind of feel still like I need something orange here. So when you see the final photos and I add my photos on it, you might see an orange flower here, because that's what I feel like I'm missing from this cluster right here. And it's not a piece of cantaloupe that I want to add there, if you know what I mean. But I think it needs orange. Okay. So then, though, I grabbed the same iridescent faceted gems that I played with yesterday, and I'm going to use them as my embellishment. So the rhinestones are just the centers of my flowers, right? But I'm still going to tuck these in because they're more white and then with a little bit of sparkle. So I'll just try and find some spots for them. And this one, I'm kind of just going to tuck it in here. Okay. So there we go. There's our hashtag creative challenge SU for January. Thanks for sharing, Chris. Off to make dinner. I did get 2 shelves cleared and rearranged while listening. Well, there you go. Does not everybody do that in the month of January, right? It's all about like refresh and clean your space. And I totally cleaned my, it's funny because there's like a spot on my computer screen I could see, and I thought it was on my layout, but it's actually on my computer screen. I went to go wipe it off. So that's what I got for you guys today. So I will, like, of course, add my photos, take some photos, and then I'll put everything up on my blog, and you guys could see the details there. Thanks to everybody that stopped by today. So, oh my goodness, let's turn down one light so that I'm a little less blown away with my white summer skin. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and remember that sometimes it's just a jumping off point, and that's why like creative challenges are fun. I think they just posted another one today. I didn't actually look at it too carefully, but like I said, it's just somewhere to start. And then, like, who would have thought I would be cutting out little leaves and flowers out of fruit paper, right? But like I said, it actually, then you don't have to do anything to that paper, and they turned out super cute. So, like I said, I'll take some detailed shots and I'll post everything on my blog. And I hope you guys all have an awesome day, and we'll talk to you later. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Drop them into the comments below, and I will come back and get to them as soon as possible. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. That was the wrong one.